work out. This is the time, and we'll be doing it together. Thank you. So if you raise up your hand, I'll come over there with a microphone if you have. Okay, sir. Please, you mention your name and... yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm Henry Nikwate van der Poy, as I said earlier, from Mazera Restaurant. Hospitality service in Ghana, we see it as doing the customer a favor. That's the notion, that is what is out there. And we need to change that narrative. People are ready to travel whatever distance to get quality service. At Mazera, people order food from a brie and we'll go deliver to them. I'm not sure the food was not that good. Anybody will be willing to pay 150 cedis for delivery fee to buy food worth just 200 cedis. But we need to talk to our staff. It's not a favor we are doing the customer. That's the field we've chosen to do, and we should do it and do it well. That's my little contribution. We should do it and do it well, not a favor. It's a service that the person is paying for. And that service is what is going to pay us. If the person walks away, we're not going to eat our own food. We need people to come and eat. And if the person is not happy, and we should also focus on return business. Everybody would like to come and have a first experience of any new thing. But you should focus on, is the person willing to come back? That's where you make your money. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mazera. Please, any contributor, any question for the high table? Yes, sir.
Yeah, once again, my name is Richmond Puno from Awako. My question actually borders on the role of GTA. I think that GTA has to do more when it comes to what Mr. Ukraine said, because in our side of industry, we don't see the role that GTA plays in the hospitality chain. It looks as if GTA is some kind of actually sleeping on the job, because when it comes to the certification, you don't see GTA. When it comes to training, enforcement, all these issues. In fact, you are supposed to guide the restaurant and then put measures, tell them what to do when it comes to training, certification, enforcement. But trust you me, we don't see them. We don't see you. So I even when you want to renew your license, yes, even when you go yourself to do renewals, it becomes a problem, and you don't see the officers coming on board to check. So that's why I've come to this stakeholders engagement. In fact, when it comes to the issue, the main issue, I think that we are not there. We don't do such. As Mr. Christ said, that yes, you can group everybody in the same tent. So I think that GTA has a lot more to do, and then training, certification, enforcement issues when it comes to outside of industry should be given a second look. So that's my problem.
Okay, thank you very much. At least thank God you are seeing us now. Any other? Okay, there is. Okay. Right.
Okay, Cassandra once again. Please, my question is from what the man said. So I would like to know some of the enforcement GTA will be putting in place to ensure customers' comfort.
We can't hear you, so speak louder.
Please, I said my question is from what the man said. I want to know the enforcement GTA will be putting in place to ensure customers' comfortability. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Cassie. Yes, I'll come to you. There is a hand at the back, so yes.
I have like 2 or 3 remarks. One is the service charge, and obviously the tips and stuff like that.
One is service charge, and
one
the
is
other?
on the tips, service charge periodically that's been in the news. At my restaurant, we don't charge service charge, but I am all in favor of service charge. If it's used for the right reasons, that is, if it goes to the employees, a percentage can also go to training of the workers thereafter. I think the problem is we have a culture in Ghana that tipping, as you said, rightfully said in the beginning, is not part of our culture. I can sometimes have a customer that will wait for 30 minutes for a 1 cedi change. Obviously, I'm not enforcing that you should go away without that. But a waiter can spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes, marvelous service, and you don't appreciate that. I'm not saying it's like you have to really tip, but it's a sign that the industry we are in, our pay for the service industry is lower than all around the world. In the United States, everywhere, the service industry attracts lesser pay for obvious reasons. So the tips is an incentive. If we're trying to grow the industry from where we are for good customer service, we must encourage or at least induce this kind of attraction of some kind of modest, but it has to be regulated. Some percentage obviously have to go to the staff in question and the on duty. Some has to go to retraining the staff, but it must be mandated or at least regulated. That's one part of what I'm trying to put for the service. Then when it comes to Dirty December, I think including GTA and including the entire audience, we are misinformed. We cannot go by just a couple clips on the internet, because I don't think Living Room even increased their prices in December. I was there. Most of the restaurants did not increase their prices in December. We had a normal December. Restaurants, it's not. My daughter was in here for a whole 2 weeks. Normally, when you're a father and your daughter is coming down, you're afraid because you know your dollars are going. For the entire 2 weeks, not a single dollar was asked from me. Dad, I'm fine. How much did you spend? Oh, not much. They are not bringing in the dollars. I'm sorry. We have a lot of young people coming in, and it's all nightlife. There's nothing for the restaurants. So you're chasing the wrong people on the internet with all those remarks. August, the busiest time in Europe. What are we doing? That's when somebody 65 years old comes to Ghana, spends money. That's when somebody who is 45 years in Italy has 3 good weeks off. It goes to Gambia. Why not Ghana? And it's day life. I hardly saw my daughter. Gallivanting night. Of course, she'll bring me water in the morning, which was good. But she was not spending anything. So my point is, let's try and look for another month geared towards real experience. Not night train, not soul train. Castles are open during the daytime. I'm not sure any of our tourist attractions open after 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. None. They didn't even leave Accra. So if you're a restaurant in Kumasi, forget it. Dirty December is obviously out of your reach. Cape Coast, yeah, maybe you will see 1 or 2. So let's look at August, please. August is a big market in Europe. And they are going to Gambia. In fact, you know you can get a ticket to Gambia in August for $400 chartered. And it's all organized by the Gambian Tourism Board. Get us 7 flights every week. And you will see the number of people that will come and spend money. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There was a hand here. Let's pick that first. Eddie, please. Let's come here first.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ebenezer, the owner from the Living Room Restaurant. So my take on this issue is Ghana has become so attractive to foreigners. So right now, what people are doing on the internet is to tarnish the image of Ghana. Well, recently, we have a lady on the internet who was portraying war violence on Ghana when they visited Ghana. So I'll also tell the GTA to also, when people comment such things on social media, we need to track them so that we find out what exactly went wrong so that we can be able to solve it. Because I believe people are trying to put Ghana in a bad way to foreigners not to come to Ghana. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. We'll come for the next set of questions. Let me go to the high table so that I pick some responses. First, Mazera's own was a contribution saying not a favor. Then somebody wants to know the role of GTA in the hospitality chain. So if you can please respond to that.
Okay. My brother, I'm sure that you should have been here from the beginning. I highlighted the regulatory functions of GTA, and then also quoted the law that backs us up to do that. When we say regulatory framework of GTA, there's processes. I'm sure that those of you that have businesses, owners, what you go through before you are issued with the license. So that's issuance of license. And also, apart from that, GTA is responsible to make sure that you operate within certain framework. For instance, the matter at stake is the service charges, which is now become a topical issue. Of course, in our own way, we know that people give tips. And tips actually comes on when you render good services to the patrons. Sometimes you don't need to even ask. I attend a restaurant many times with my friends and then also my family. But when I look at the service, I can easily put in some money within and then give it to the person, depending on the service the person receives. And that's what we call tips. But this one, we have seen that people or some of your businesses are intentionally putting percentages, some ranging from 10 to even 20%. So you have the VAT, and in addition to the VAT and then NHIS, you put in the 20%, and it is presented. Okay? And as my brother just highlighted, when you travel to US and other places, service charges, in a way, is recognized. Okay? So when you want to charge it, even the point of call or the entrance, you should display it that I'm charging VAT 20% and whatever, VAT whatever, 20%. But in addition, I'm also charging service charge of 5%. The person should know. So when the person is aware, right from the entry point, that I'm going to pay service charge, then of course, when you sit down and then you add it, he is aware. So there should be that openness and then transparency. But you don't sit down, the person eats, and then boom, 20%. Okay? So if you look at GTA, some of the things that we look for, every prices has to be displayed at the entry point. It's not only restaurant, even at the hotels. So if you are charging 5 cedis, $20, whatever, it should be there. And you should also state whether it is inclusive of taxes or it is exclusive. So when you want to charge that, it should be there so that the person knows about it, instead of using it in a certain way, whether it is true or not. But we have also noticed that there is a growing trend, and that's what makes it very alarming. When there's a growing trend, oh, this person is charging this, oh, why don't I do this? But when we allowed it to grow, the cumulative effect is what makes the destination expensive. And also, if you look at the VAT, it's backed by law. If you look at all the taxes, the Tourism Act levy, it is backed by law. So you can't charge service charge, you can't charge the fee or levy when it's not backed by law. And that's where the issue comes in. GT as a regulator, we have every power to close you down, especially when you are doing it in a non-transparent way. We have every power to do that. But we don't want to do that until we have engaged you. So here, meeting with you is a way of dialoguing, making sure that you don't do something that will invariably make our work difficult. So when we engage you, and of course you decide to go by it, which invariably is going to affect the destination, that's where we come in and then also regulate and put measures to stop that. So that's where we are. So my brother, I agree with you that these are things that we got, but GTA, one of our functions is to come there, make sure that we inspect, and then you put in a good standard. The facility that you are, if you are running a restaurant, we come to the kitchen, we inspect, we make sure that the hygiene standards are adhered to, and other things which has also been stated in our regulations. We make sure that you go by it, and then of course the customer, which is the major one. We also make sure that the customer also get good services so that he doesn't come complaining. So that is what I would say for now.
Thank you very much. Ms. Anane, I don't know if you have something to say. Okay, then the other gentleman also talked about December in GH, which is full of nightlife. We should bring them about 7 flights, and then we'll see how the restaurant will fare. I don't know if we have a response.
Hello. Yeah. In fact, people, let me make an appeal. This lady sitting here, the one here, Roberta Stella, let them see you. And a couple of us brought this idea of December in GH. What we call it is December in GH. The dirty December is a corruption of some other event that came from some other place, but it points to the same thing. We prefer that you call it December in GH, okay? There's nothing dirty about December in GH, that's by the way. Number 2, it is not the only period that we expect people to come to Ghana. Tourism is a year-long activity, but there are different market segments. If you look at traditionally, people were coming the summer period we are talking about. I mean, before 2019, people were coming, you know, the historical diaspora, the castles, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Some people will come to look for bird watching, especially from Europe, Holland, Germany, and so on. December in GH, we created it deliberately in partnership with the hotels, because most of them at that time, around December, the places are empty. You come to Movenpick, 3/4 empty because the expatriates are gone. So when the 2019 came up and we found the opportunity to leverage on the 400 celebration, then we thought that, look, let's do something that will bring people together. In fact, when we're doing Year of Return, our focus on it was just that particular year. And we leveraged on the homecoming that had been done earlier on by the Office of, what do you call it? Because maybe I was there. Diaspora Relations, when Bozoma and others had come in and people were talking about Ghana and all of that. And it was a deliberate strategy. How do we get people to come to Ghana? We don't have the marketing budget of Rwanda, or where you go and give Arsenal 20-something million to put on your jersey. So we had to do celebrity endorsement, make it entertainment linked, because we were looking at the crowd that will come. Most of them were second-generation Ghanaians, people of Ghanaian district who live in the UK. And so you needed to make it entertainment heavy. So that is how the December product was designed. Make it fun, make it for young people, make it exciting, and all of that. But that doesn't mean that we have neglected the other segments of the market who come at different times. If you look at the statistics, you find that because of the intense publicity that's received, you probably have 100 and something thousand or so coming in December. But throughout the year, people come. And our strategy is to make the Easter period equally powerful. It's been driven by Kwewu Easter. This year, we are going to do a lot of stuff in the Volta region. So we want the domestic crowd to also flow. Because what is of interest to Jamaican is not necessarily what my son or her daughter who lives in New Jersey or something likes. Yeah, the slave trade had, that's true. But she wants to have fun. And we must catch all of those people in the net. So it's something we will do. We expand as and when. For example, the typical European, his itinerary would not be like what you do for a diaspora from, say, Anguilla or something. So we have to look at those different market dynamics and try to address their needs towards our objective of growing the market, you know. And that is one. 2, the Gambian example of chartered flights and so on. There's been studies that have shown that they are counterproductive, because you have the club, a group called the Club Mediterranean. I mean, they come and buy or build the hotels in Gambia. They own the hotel, right? So like a resort. If you go to a place they call this, okay, let's talk in Gambia, you know, and then they own the charters. And so if they spend, say, $100, effectively the amount of money that will land in the Gambian economy might be like $10, $15. You can get 4-star hotels for very low prices, you know, because they do volumes and so on. If you look at our average spend per tourist, we are not doing badly at all. So that model, although it might bring people plenty, you know, Gambia is seen for like old rich women from Scandinavia. They want to come from some African blood, and all those things come into play. So you have to be careful when you are doing tourism that it's sustainable and doesn't disturb either your cultural or environmental fabric in a way. But the transport or linkage challenges have to be addressed. For example, between here and the Caribbean, there is no effective airline connection. And it's something that we have to push so that at least Ghana, Nigeria, Barbados, that will happen without people, nurses going there. So that traffic has to happen. There are efforts to get something they call fit freedom rights, so that Ethiopian Airlines, for example, can do Addis, Accra, London, like the way South African Airlines was doing. When we have that kind of pressure or that kind of increase in supply, it might bring the prices down so that we get the numbers. But we are committed to bringing the numbers, definitely. But we are also committed to making sure that whoever comes here has a really interesting, exciting experience. So we are not just focusing on December. Far from that, far from that, far from that. You know, we want the whole year. For example, there's going to be this high life thing that we are going to capitalize on big time. This year, because of the World Cup, there are fan zones that we'll do around the country, 16 on 60. So a whole combination of activities to engage people. You see, the thing about tourism is, I'm talking too much. The thing about tourism is that it's discretionary. So people don't want to come to the same serious environment they are in. So you have to do things that will make them genuinely unwind, put them in their frame of mind to appreciate what you have, and then leave the dollars there. So we are with you on that one. On that score, we are not on different wavelengths at all. Thank you.
Okay, so just to add to what my brother said, before the December in GH, there was emancipation in Panafest. I'm sure you are aware of that. You are, So it's something that was deliberately or intentionally situated, and it fit into the July, September, and within the summer. And that has also worked so well for us. But you know, you cannot keep on with the same products. I mean, sometimes you need to add innovation, add one or two things to make it sustainable. And that's what we are doing. And December in GH, for instance, we are lucky to have something like this. Because as he said, before then, December within the last quarter was very quiet. There was nothing at all. And if you go to the hotels, it was empty. You know, but you can attest to the fact that in December, most of the hotels are filled. It might not be some of the restaurants do, but at least generally, you can see there is a lot of traffic. What it's doing for the country is so wonderful. I know, I have an example where I traveled to US, and then we have the third generation Ghanaians that were born there. And they have heard so many negative things about Africa, of course, fed into the system, and they were not willing to even come to Africa. But I can tell you, since we introduced the December in GH, most of these youngsters, some of them doctors, have become engineers, they belong to the Gen Zs. Now they are trooping down. And they are the ones that are even buying some of these properties. You'll be surprised. Apart from they coming in to know their destination, also coming to experience, have immersive experience of our culture and others, they are also introducing them back to the destination, which is very good. Before then, they will not come. So the third generation Ghanaians are coming, the diasporans are coming, and of course, when we have a lot of people coming in, it has some effect on the businesses. Whether you like it or not, the transport business, there is a boom there. The accommodation business, there is something happening there. And also the food and beverages, there is something happening there. So in general terms, I know that a lot is, the December in years is doing us a good deal. But like what the lady said, you know, when you don't do something about certain negativity that is going on, eventually the numbers will dwindle. And that's where, as stakeholders, we need to engage you and see how we can sustain this business going forward. So even if you can say that, look, maybe they are going to the nightclubs, even the nightclub is also serving some businesses. So please, let's see how best we can remove the negativity that comes into this, and then see how best we can all move together and then come out with some innovative ideas that we can sustain the business and the December and GH. Thank you.
Just want to add a little to what my colleagues have said. Someone mentioned that this social media thing can be deliberate. Maybe our competitors are putting something out there to tarnish our image and all that. I would propose that GTA should be more strategic by engaging certain bloggers that will respond back to some of this negative news, right? Because when the news is put out there and we don't say anything about it, it confirms that it could be true, right? But I think what others are also asking for is that December GH in GH have become a signature something. It's great. We can equally look at March as our Heritage Month, right? And have a signature festival from on the 1st to on the 6th, for example. So the tour guys can plan this and sell it abroad, like we did for December GH, right? And then in between, we can have the Kwaus and the September, whatever. And just imagine, let's take a street like the Oxford Street in Osu. Let's block it and get food vendors, musicians, and whatever. Create a festival. Every country, we go to WTM in London, we go to IBM South Africa and all that. They have a signature festivals. So I think that is what we should do. So it is not ad hoc. And we should stop these silos in working. It should be collective. All the players within the value chain should sit and plan this, right? Sometimes GTA is doing something that restaurant doesn't know, or this doesn't know. Everybody is doing his own thing. How do we come together and say, between this period, this is what we are doing. So we are intentional about it, and I think our social media bloggers and whatever, now that is the trend. Ashore Smith was here, and almost 20 million people are searching for Ghana. That is the power of social media now. So we should take advantage of those we have here that can equally respond to. But we can only do that if we know whether this is happening or not. That brings to what I said earlier, training and certification and unique code that go with everyone. Then we can address that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much from the high table. Let me remind all of us that we are live on CHTV. CHTV, kudos for carrying this session live. We really appreciate it. We'll come for the next batch of questions. And please, if you have a question, you raise your hand. I think I saw. You okay? It has been responded to. Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, my name is Daniel. I'm from the Living Room Restaurant. And my point, before I address my point, I'd like to address that we don't charge service charge. And as a consumer, I don't like paying service charge, especially when it comes as a surprise to the end of the menu, and it should be a lot more transparent, as you've addressed. However, I can certainly see the reason why people would advocate the service charge, being that the consumer doesn't necessarily see the greater schedule of cost. They only see the tip of the iceberg. And underneath there's quite a significant burden on restaurants. For example, when prices are elevated over Christmas, our suppliers' prices are also elevated over Christmas, and we end up in a cycle of self-destructive cycle where we have to increase our prices to compete and be able to survive as an industry. Again, I don't lament taxation. I think it's very essential for the development of Ghana, and I don't lament the enforcement of the standards. I think they're very excellent standards, internationally recognized. And we have some of the examples that we have, for example, is the ECG and water, some of the utilities that we have. When we have the mains coming through, it's sustainable, but we also have to address certain concerns that we have to import our water or rather buy water to fill our tanks. If we have to run off generators, these are some of the concerns and the challenges that we have running a business. A lot of capital equipment that we get has to be imported. It's very expensive to import some of the equipment. Maintaining said equipment as well often invokes the importing of parts and components in a lot of cases. Whilst I don't want service charges to be mandatory unless we have them transparent, but why some companies may advocate for implementing service charges. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Any other person, please? I think I saw a hand in the middle here. Okay, all right. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is Titus Osudako from CHTV. My question is very, very simple. I want to know that, is there any corporate communications directorates at the Ghana Tourism Authority, or maybe whenever a tourist is experiencing these bad charges, the person has to directly inform the diaspora directorate at the Office of the Presidency? So I want to know the distinction between the Diaspora Directorate, Office of the President, and the GTA. Which office receives these kind of complaints, so that every single tourist who comes to Ghana would know the specific office to address some of these issues? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll pick the very last one and we'll take the responses. Yes, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Mike, representing Kanzo Limited. Sorry, I came in a bit late, so I don't know whether this issue has been addressed. But if not, I want to know. The filing of the tourism levy. Okay, so with GRA, you have a portal where you can file your taxes. I want to know why Ghana Tourism Authority does not have a portal where you can find this. And almost all the time we have to run to the bank to do this. It's becoming a bit problematic. So I want to know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we'll pick the responses before we move on. High table, yes, you can take it. So, number one, the living room actually talk about utility tariffs being a burden on restaurants and the reason why some people will be motivated to fixing those service charges.
Living room. I come there a lot too. So look at my face, and next time I come anyway. And I come on Sundays. We'll be at post on Sunday after 2 o'clock. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, we appreciate the challenges you may be having with utilities and all of that. But like my colleague said, all the other charges are backed by law. Service charge cannot be mandatory. If it's a voluntary tip, there's no problem with that. You cannot impose a unilateral charge for yourself. Then you are walking on the borders of illegality. If the easiest option is then increase your prices to reflect your real operational costs. You see what I'm saying? If it's 120, take it to 1 whatever, you know. And if the service is good, people pay for it, you know. But the moment you start doing arbitrary things like that, I mean, what percentage? Who said you can take 10% and not 15%? Then it creates a problem, you know. That's one. The other question I had was, do we have a corporate communication? Yes, we do. In fact, this is the corporate the director of a corporate.
In fact, thanks for your mafia question, but I'm here.
But you see, we actually have a call center. And the GTA is not set up for only people who are sitting in planes and coming here. We are not only focused on foreigners, you know, or anybody who engages with any of the businesses within our remit, you know, or hospitality, travel and tours, and has an issue and is not satisfied, can report to us. It doesn't mean that your report is automatically correct and we'll go charging down and going to, no. That's not what it is. But we are some kind of a referee, so that if indeed you haven't been fairly treated, we can intervene. You know, the last case we handled, somebody booked a hotel in, my colleague went to deal with it, in somewhere in Accra, in Osu, and then was checking out the day before. They didn't want to refund the money. I mean, ridiculous stuff. But if you look at the hotel regulations, as was clearly displayed at the reception, the hotel was right. Because you are supposed to know what you are going in for. But in those cases, given the discomfort and all of that, we can make an intervention and make a plea that, okay, if that is so, there's some certain time we even have to come in to pick up the bill just to let things go. So that, and if you have good suggestions, you can also call the call center. Maybe there's a little waterfall in your village that your chief wants to develop. You think we should look at it. You give us a call. We let our appropriate regional director have a look at it. So it's for interaction and interface with the public, and as much as possible, we exist to make sure that the sanity in the industry, the customers' interests are protected, and also our businesses' interests are protected. I went to court because some person took a restaurant to the court because of noise levels, say the decibels, so on and so on and so on. And I made a case to the judge that, listen, yes, we know, but given his peculiar circumstances, his largest audience is on Friday, so maybe Friday you can give him an exemption between this time and this time. And the judges are reasonable human beings too. So just because you've made a complaint doesn't mean the operator is wrong. But we want to make sure that the industry is clean, sanitized, everybody's having a reasonably good time so that the sector can grow the way we want. All right, thank you.
Okay, so just to add to it, Cassandra, Miss Cassandra, please, you are here, isn't it? So after this, he's going to share with you the call center's number. We operate 24-hour distance. We've shipped. We have people that comes in from 6 a.m., 2 p.m., from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., and then to the next day. And this call center is open to the public. So if you have any complaints, any suggestion, any issue happening in the tourism industry, it's a 24-hour service which they provide. So after this, she's going to share with you the number so that you also obey. So that is there. And then also, I don't know whether the third question I can go.
Yeah. The filing of tourism.
Yes, so I'm sure that is something that we've been doing for some time now. Since 2012, which this regulation, the tourism levy regulation came to pass, we have banks, Greek Development Bank, and then Commercial Bank, and others that will be filing our returns. But now we have developed a system, that will help you to sit at the comfort of your business and then send it. Something that we are working on. In fact, we are even in the process. So very soon, we will cut this interface of you spending so many time going to the bank, queuing. So please, something that we have realized, and we are working with it, using the technology to make it more efficient, more effective for you to make payment at the comfort of where you are to GTA. So it's something that we are working on. I'm sure that it's going to be the thing of the past where you have to go and queue. So that's what I will say for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we go on, let me just quickly mention our call center numbers so that in case of anything, you can reach out to us. As Boss said, it's 24/7, so do call anytime. Now, the first number is 0579 579 019. I go over again. 0579 579 019. Then we have 030 700 7100. 030 700 7100. Then we have a WhatsApp line. So in case you want to WhatsApp us, this is the WhatsApp line. It's 0546 352 240. 0546 352 240. That's our WhatsApp number, and all the other two you can call. So feel free to call. You can sleep, wake up at night, and do call us. We'll attend to you. Thank you very much. We'll move on to the next batch of questions. Another mafia question, follow-up. Okay. So please give the microphone to the follow-up. Let's get the follow-up question.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. for the clarification. This particular question, I just want the education aspects of this session. Do tourists have rights? That is the question I'm asking. And if they do so, is there any way their rights are being pushed for them to know that this is the right I have when I'm a tourist in a different country? And two, I want to be educated on this. Whenever a tourist is being violated, is there any compensation the Ghana Tourism Authority or let's say the individual giving that service would give to the person? I want to clarify this, and if there is any education you give us on this.
Okay, let me handle this one if you don't mind. Mr. MC.
Okay. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who is a tourist? Yeah, who is a tourist, yeah?
Someone who travels to have an experience, yeah.
Okay. So if you go to, say, Adaikesi Festival, you're a tourist?
Yes.
Okay, so let's take you as an example. You took the VIP bus, then you went to Kumasi, then you went to some chop bar there, and then you took a taxi and you went to Menchia and you watched the Deba, then maybe. If you have a problem at the VIP station, you think your right is violated, who should deal with that?
I think the sector responsible for that event that I was attending.
And which sector is that?
The VIP station management.
Okay, that's transport, right?
Yeah.
So if you go to the chop bar and you think I don't know how your rights can be violated in the chop bar. Let's just look as an example. Maybe the soup was not hot enough, maybe. Who do you deal with that, No, I'm just saying this because, you see, sometimes we always assume that the tourist is some strange human being standing outside a circle. Each of us at any point can interface with those suppliers of tourism services along the line. And so whatever the prevailing rules are, that is what will apply if you think there's been a service failure along somewhere. The GTA cannot be responsible for the bad ties of the VIP bus or the driver driving recklessly or something else. You see what I'm saying? If you go to a hotel and you think you have a bad service, it's a contractual arrangement between you and the hotel. You see what I'm saying? You can even sue the hotel if you think something is wrong. But if you think you need an intervention to deal with one of the players in the supply chain or the value chain that we have influence over, then that's what comes in. So your rights are not different from any other Ghanaian's rights. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
So it's a very interesting question. And just recently, we were making jokes out of this when we went to a meeting somewhere. And then somebody said, oh, so the potholes leading to Kakum, the road leading to Kakum, there are potholes. So the first question is, where is Ghana Tourism Authority? What are you doing about it? Then somebody go to the airport with a flight and is badly treated. What is Ghana Tourism Authority doing about it? So when somebody, just the same thing, just the scenario that my brother just gave, he go to maybe say a restaurant and then he had a bad experience. Of course, that one we are regulated, so we. But tourism, it encompasses so many ministries, agencies that comes together. But at the end of the day, the visitor experience comes. So you have transport coming in, sometimes Ministry of Environmental Health, sometimes the Ministry of Environment, and sometimes Road and Highways, Transportation, Agric, all coming together. So when one fault, of course, the whole country's experience is affected. And ultimately, it comes to GTA, the blames come to GTA. I remember in 2017, evening, I was just washing my vehicle somewhere, relaxing, and then I started having a calls from Kintampo Waterfalls with dead bodies, and somebody's that I know just said, look, something has happened there. And you see, that time, even though GTA ultimately promote the destination, the tourist site and things, but we were not regulating it because we didn't have even the legal backings for us to license them. But when it happened, the digital assembly there were people that were collecting the money. There were institutions collecting the money. They were charging. They were doing all sorts of things. But ultimately, when something happened, disaster happened, we called GTA. Okay? Again, because GTA promotes the destination, of course, he may be responsible for anything that happens there. But when it comes, we have to work with the other agencies to make sure to put it right. So at the ministry, for instance, we have interagency body. So Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Environmental Health, Ministry of Roads and Highways, they comes in and then try to address the challenges that may have effect on tourism. So also it's true with Ghana Tourism Authority working with other stakeholders to make sure that some of these things are addressed. Ultimately, when it goes bad, it is the destination that is affected. And if you say the destination experience is affected, invariably when they stop coming, the person will not go and eat at the restaurant. And if restaurant is also not moving, invariably food production will be affected. The person who is cultivating tomatoes and the rest will also not get suppliers. So you see that the value chain, that's why we always say the value chain of tourism is so broad. So when there is a complaint, of course, it is important for GTA to get to know about it, and then we go and see how best it can be mitigated. Because invariably, when the person does not come, the whole value chain, the suppliers, those that supply to the tourists, and even your businesses will invariably be affected. So it is a holistic thing that imbibe on all of us to ensure that the right of the customer is also, or the right of the tourist is adhered to. That's why we ultimately bear the blame. But what it is, when we receive it, we have to address it so that he can also come in, what we call repeat visitors. Because when he comes to the destination, that's where your business thrives. And when your business thrives, it affects employment and also government get revenue and so on and so forth. So that's how it is. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Sampson. Okay. Please, let's pick this one, then we'll come to you.
This would actually be my last question. Because the topic of this service charge is a time bomb. I will be frank with you. It's coming up, and it's going to hit GTA so hard. The moment you say we are charging illegal fees, you are making it very difficult for me to understand that we're in a free market economy. You have no right to dictate to a restaurant what they put on their menu. It's the customer who determines whether we are charging a fee or not. They are booking fees for airlines. Is that in any constitution in Ghana? Do we have it on any airline? Is it legal? It's a service-based industry fee that is customer-driven. If the customer doesn't want a reservation fee in a restaurant, they won't go. GTA has no business, absolutely, because this is what happens. The danger of you going into this, and you might all maybe agree, but tomorrow they'll come after your menu prices. You can't charge Banku more than 5 cedis. What you gonna do? So I don't think you have a business going into our business as to what to charge. Customer determines that. Absolutely. Now let me give an example. About a year ago, 2 years ago, we had this LGBT something about human rights. We are all in for it. Not knowing we are also selling our right in the future for certain things. Because they will come back again and say, well, you didn't allow us to do this, so you can also do this. We should be very careful allowing government into price mechanism in the private sector. Absolutely. Then the second thing is, I grew up in the hospitality industry. My dad, veteran. The Gambia thing, you're right. But that's where we learn from modules. What my dad used to do, basically, we chartered every week one full Alitalia to Continental Hotel. Those who are old enough, you know Continental? Good. My dad ran the casino there. 340 Italians will come. They don't even see the sun. They gamble. Or we put them back. That's how my father made his money in hospitality initially, before he opened a hotel. When they are coming down, you pay a certain amount of money. And that money, food, hotel, and everything is a coupon you get. So Gambia has failed. How do we learn from that? Fine. $400 ticket. $200 is subsidized by restaurants, bars, and everything. Coming down, these are the places your coupon allows you to go. They are spending the money back. You come a cheap airline. Las Vegas does that. You go to Las Vegas, the hotel is so cheap, but they get you in gambling. Same thing has to apply here. Let them come, but give them certain quotas and coupons that reflect in the money they pay. So they'll come and then they'll come to the various restaurants and spend their money. And the last thing he said was hotels, cost of stuff, okay? Growing up, I saw and I went to the ports to clear the very first microbrewery, before we even had the brewery thing going, for my father's hotel. It was 0% import duties. I remember. Is it gone? For stuff that restaurants import. Do we have any subsidies? No, we don't. Just a couple of years ago, we imported a whole brewery for the restaurant. We wanted to start a microbrewery. We actually did start, but old man passed on. And it was 0%. That's where GTA comes in. That's what I think GTA should do, rather than coming into our books and trying to get into our profit margins. I don't charge service charge, so there's no skin in this game. I don't. My restaurant, we don't. But I want to speak out for my brothers, and the morality of this whole thing is not what you think it is. We are not taking advantage of the customers. If Ghanaians begin to appreciate what we are doing, we won't have to have this conversation at all. But for you to wait 30 minutes for one CD, we have a problem.
Thank you very much. Okay, so this hand has been up for a very long time, so let's pick this one. Boss, we'll come to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Derek, and I want to first of all speak as a customer, and then I'll also speak on behalf of the business. So before this year, you know that GRA used to charge the 15, 2.5, 2.5, and 1. Sorry, I'm saying that I'm speaking as a customer first, and then I'll speak as a business owner or on behalf of the business. So earlier this year, before the beginning of this year, we used to, you walk in a restaurant, you buy your food, you get your VAT 2.5, get FAN, NHIO, and then the COVID. Then the COVID was taken out. Then this year, you realize that there's still 1% somewhere. So I look at the coupon or receipt, and I'm like, where is this 1% also coming from? Then I see that it's GTA. Now, I want to understand the business for charging that, because it's mandatory that the business has to pay this 1% levy to GTA on a monthly basis. Then I also speak as a business owner or a business person. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm supposed to squeeze this money out of my sales and pay to GTA. Why won't I also charge it to the customer? Because the VATs, the levies, all the levies that we charge to the customers, we pay on behalf of GRA. And when we also buy or we make purchases and all of that, we also pay VATs, and then we claim them at the end of the year when we are filing, so it nets off. But here's the case with the GTA. There's nothing to net off. It's more like a goodwill that we are paying for. So I want to know, it looks like there's this ambiguity as to whether we should charge it to the customers or we should bear it as business owners alone. And I know that one of the things or one of your missions is that we share responsibilities. So I want to know that, is there a clear, system or a clear law that we shouldn't charge the customers, or we should charge the customers, or, customers are supposed to pay for it or not, so that we know where we stand with this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think there is a hand behind. Let's pick that one, then we can go to the high table.
Okay. My name is Jesse, actually representing Kanu restaurant, sushi restaurant. So I actually wanted to add up to what my big brother said, to validate what he said. And it has to do with the service charge, actually. And you know, in this industry, we're in hospitality, yes. And if for some reason we are to take this away, then again, you want to say, if it's a service that, let's say, the waiter or the waitress is offering. Well, for my restaurant, we do charge service charge. But then it is a discretionary fee, and it's down there in the menu. So you have the opportunity to know that this will be added to your bill. And for any reason, I don't know if anyone here has been to Kanu, they actually ask, well, I think I didn't like the service. Good, then I strike it off. I've had several situations like that. It is not mandatory. So if you say, for GTA, says no, don't charge it, I think that would be really on the high side. What you need to do is to regulate it. And as to the percentage, maybe you could give a flat rate. Nobody should go above this. But then if you say, we are not going to allow you charge, and I think there was a remark from the high table which wasn't too good. If you say, put it in your, what do you call it, prices, then again, you're telling us, okay, I go to Canoe before, let's say, a plate of rice goes for maybe 150 cedis. No service charge, fine. I decide to put it in, and then it goes to 250. Nobody can tell me not to sell for 250. But then again, who comes? Those who come are those who will be able to afford. And then it goes back to affect GTA. Because obviously those who are coming down with the dollars are those who can what? Be able to afford. Our Ghanaians, let me put it this way, let's say the middle class, I've got a whole lot of them coming in as well. And you know, when you offer fine dining service, there's a niche of customers that you attract. And they, because of travel experience, understand some of these things, like he was saying. So if we are to look at it, we should look at it in a holistic way. Because if you're saying we shouldn't charge, but then pay tip, yes, it goes to the waiter. What about the chef? What about the pantry guys? What about the cleaners? What about all these people? A service comes together to make a holistic, approach, and then serve the customer a very good experience. So that's my suggestion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Another one, then I go to the high table, if we can have the very last one. Okay, please come here.
My issue is just a humble suggestion that I think that, or I want to suggest that going forward, GTA should do more of education as our regulators in terms of the standards and all that, so that we can have a clear cut to so many issues. Because as far as I'm concerned, I've been in this thing for the past 20 years, and as I said earlier on, we don't see GTA. We don't see GTA when it comes to even renewals and other things. We don't see GTA. So I want to insist that GTA going forward should find a good way of making sure that we are educated on your rules, and then probably how you are also trying your best to make sure that those who are doing well in the value chain are also promoted. That's my humble suggestion.
Okay, thank you very much. Before you pass on the microphone, please, where do you operate? Where's your restaurant again? Oh, Morocco. Okay, all right. Okay, so if I visit you every other week, what will be my discount? You want to see GTA almost every day, so I'll be coming almost every day, so that. Yeah, there is one there. Okay, all right. Okay, yes, madam.
I'm Lillian Agbagan from Nududu Restaurant.
Yeah, Nududu.
Yes, in Hacho.
Hacho, yes. The curve inside, right?
Pardon?
Okay.
All right. I'm happy one of the gentlemen at the high table spoke about interagency desk or office, because I have a whole list of levies and taxes that we have to pay as a restaurant. And I've been wondering whether you have been making any effort to intervene. When it comes to the levies and taxes, I understand the fact that you are not responsible for roads and highways, you are not responsible for environment and all that. But they all come to play in the business that we are running. Now, I, for instance, have to pay EPA 5,400 levy for a year. Then I pay environmental assessment from the district assembly. So these two are environmental. Then I have to pay business. They can't hear. Okay. I have to pay business operating permit. I have to pay PAYE. I have to pay VAT, property tax, ground rent, FDA, GTA. I have to pay ECG. I have to pay water. I have to pay for fumigation. I have to pay fire service every year for renewal, and then to service the extinguishers. And if I have to replace, I have to replace. I have to do mandatory insurance. I have to pay for my standard operating procedures to be written for me by a professional, which is mandatory from the FDA. There's erratic power supply, so I have to run a generator, servicing and all that. Recently, Ghana Water fixed commercial meters for me. There's NADMO. Then, I think on Monday, I bought Chronicle newspaper and I read that we have to have compulsory vaccination against typhoid. Very soon it's going to come up. It's from Ghana Health Service or something. And I want to know whether, by law, can you ask me to go for a vaccination just because I'm running a restaurant? Compulsory vaccination. If that is anything to go by, then doctors too are treating HIV patients. They are treating patients with HPV. So then we'll say the nurses and doctors have to go for compulsory vaccination. Yes, I understand we have to go for tests, medical tests. That is for the typhoid and all that, which I am for, because I even go beyond the typhoid. And I realized that we even picked hepatitis, is it, I think, C or B with one of our staff. So it is good. But why should we be asked to have compulsory vaccination? I want to know whether there's a law in Ghana that a particular sector of government can say, go for compulsory vaccination. Now, I would want GTA to be an interface between us and these government agencies. So that, for example, Environmental Protection Authority and then the environmental assessment part of the district assembly, they are performing the same role. Because I brought them together at my restaurant, and I asked them that, tell me the difference in the roles that you are playing. I've had to pay 2,600 for my environmental assessment report to be written for me from the district assembly. Because, of course, I'm not a professional. So I asked the EPA guys, why should someone from there, and they said we perform different roles. And I said, no, this is extortion from government. Like one other gentleman said, we are paying taxes already. Then we are paying same government agencies, all these agencies, just to operate. It is too much. And I'm so happy that today I've been here to meet GTA. And they're telling me that you have an interagency desk. So please, I wish your desk would take this matter up so that the roles that are overlapping, we have one agency to perform it. Or they should come together and say that these are the things we need from this industry. Who is going forward? And I have a typical example. I used to import frozen foods. Standard Authority was taking 4 cartons from each 40-footer container. FDA too was taking 4 cartons. It got to a point, it was too much. They take the cartons, there's no lab test, they just take it and then write a paper for us. I started the protest. I said, you've never given us lab results. And this is cost to us. Now, one person has, and then EPA too was taking the samples. So it was 3 agencies taking from 1 container. So we had an agreement that FDA alone takes the sample. Do you get the point I'm making? So with the EPA and then the environmental assessment from the assembly, I don't know why the 2 of them should come to us and we have to pay every year. It is too much. The burden is too much. And I just hope that we'll have a platform that maybe a WhatsApp platform that we can all communicate on, and then we communicate our difficulties so that in as much as you have to regulate us, you also have to help us for our businesses to grow so that these taxes and levies can come down a bit for us. Like I was saying, when it comes to the overlapping of duties, you speak to the agencies to come together and have one do it. And in a year, you'll be in your office and FDA comes in the morning. By afternoon, another agency comes. It's like they're walking in and out of the kitchen, and it's too much. Open your freezers, give us thermometers. All the agencies are coming with different requirements. And they ask you, buy this, do this, as if it's a walk in a park. No. We have to have a paper that says that you have to have this. Please, I hope I'm making sense. So, yes, so please, GTA, in as much as you are regulating us, you have to be the interface between us and the other agencies. You have to harmonize the operations and then come to us and tell them that, hold on, we are taking care of the hospitality industry. Give us all your requirements. Let's sit together and then bring one paper that this is what the restaurants have to bring. One paper so that it makes business easy. Because I know that, I listened to news and said doing business in Ghana is difficult. These are some of the things. You can't rest. The agencies coming in and out, shooting letters and pasting things on your walls as if you wake up in the morning, you are waiting for agencies to come to you. We have so much to deal with, our workers, taxes, power, all those. And then on top of that, look at this. I have about 19 that I've listed here that I mentioned. Why? For one business. It is too much. Thank you.
Thank you too, Madam Nududu. Thank you. Okay, now to the high table.
Okay, let me start. Samson will continue. I don't know if you were all here at the beginning, and Mr. Samson made it clear when he was speaking. Our intention is not to regulate anybody's prices. Price controls left Ghana in 1970 something. Those of you who are old enough, you had to queue to go and buy 4 tins of milk. They used to call it control prices. In those days, when General Champo, we are not in the business of regulating prices. We haven't said fixed price A or price B. We will not do that. What we are saying is that the taxes that are in play now, they are backed by law. And much as we appreciate the challenges in running your business, the cost and so on, you can't impose a service charge that hasn't got a legal basis. So at best, it could be a voluntary tip from the consumer, which we are not against. But you can't impose, because if you do say, let's say restaurant A, your service charge is 20, then this one, service charge is 10, and this one is 5. It creates some distortions in the environment. That's what we want you as industry operators to appreciate and deal with. That's what we're saying. We are not going to fix prices. We are not going to impose any. That is your prerogative. That is your decision, your business decision to make. That's one. Number two, the gentleman who doesn't know who pays the levy, the law says that it's paid by the patrons of the establishment. It's not you. So if your food is 100 cedis and the combined charge, NHIL, blah, 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 all comes up to 17 cedis, then the customer pays 117 cedis to you. And your business, though, that you become a tax collector for the government. So the other charges, they go where they are supposed to go. It's not your cost. It's the customer who is supposed to pay. And those requirements or those are backed by law. Okay. And finally, Mawako, you say we don't come there. Okay, all right, I hear. You're on my way all the time, under the bridge there. At least you tarred your road. It's asphalted now. Okay. What the lady said is true. There is an issue that has come up many times. We've engaged the FDA and all of that, but we could clean it up some more. The argument they always come up is that they have laws backing them. For example, what's the license fee for grade 1? What is it now? Do you know? Charles, please. Grade 1 restaurant license is how much? It's like 400, 600. For a grade 1 restaurant, top of the range, we charge 400 a whole year. And somebody's taking, what, 5,400? I mean, that's a bit. So I think there's some more advocacy we can do. But it would be useful if the that restaurant had an association, so that as a collective we can deal with the leadership. You do? Okay, all right, good. Okay. National? Okay.
So who is the president? Who is the president?
Okay, we said we should find him. We will find him. All right, at least that's it. Okay, all right.
All right, so yes, I know you have, but it's among all the association, yours has been dormant. So I've engaged the president. I mean, he's at the moment incapacitated. He's not in good health, but I have approached him that you need to come together. Madam, I understand your frustration and the challenges that the industry goes through. In fact, GTA, we have worked on it. We've even carried it to Parliament. They set up a select committee to work with us to see how best they can harmonize these charges, fees and charges. At a count, it was even more than 15 or 15 plus. And the inconveniences that you go through, we know it. Because as regulators, tourism, we are not only looking at the fees that come to us, we are looking at the holistic experience of the tourist. So you get EPA, who wins themselves from the government subvention, and then they also get their regulations, and then at the end of the day, they come in and count the chairs and the tables, and then they charge as a fees. Of course, it's also backed by law, okay? The environmental health also comes in. They also have a regulation. The Ghana Fire Service also go in and then get their laws to back it. So once it's backed by law, it becomes very difficult as a government agency to fight them off, okay? But what's happened is that the fees and charges that they impose, like we are talking about these service charges, which invariably make the destination expensive. So when it becomes expensive, the long run and the tail of it is that people don't come to the destination. So at the end of the day, we all lose. Okay, so a body has been set up and we are still engaging Parliament, and then we are going to address it. But we need a mouthpiece from your end. And that's why the association also comes to play. You need to come together so that you can have a strong advocacy to push it. I'm a government agency. I can do A, B, C, D. But yours, when you come together and then you have a united voice to push the government. It helps. So I will still give your endeavors to actually come together so that you can have a strong advocacy and lobby. And that's where sometimes the effectiveness comes. I can just go to Parliament, talk about it, but remember that I'm a government agency, so they're going to keep quiet. There's a limit to which I can go. But when you have the association as a mouthpiece, you can push and then get certain things done. So please come together and have that strong voice to push some of these things together, because we are also concerned, and just like we are talking about services charges that make the destination expensive, so also is true. When the destination becomes expensive, people, it affects your business, not only business in terms of this, but patronage, and then also it makes your product expensive, which doesn't help the destination. So certainly we are going to work on it, but you need to come together to push this agenda through. And then also, we don't see you, GTA, we don't see you. My friend, it's true, if you are not seeing you, we are going to come there. But sometimes, like my sister said, we don't also want to be interrupting your business. Because when we come there frequently, we come there as a regulator to inspect your kitchen. We come there to see whether you are, your staff have put on the right, uniform with name badges and others. Sometimes it can be very interruptive. We come there to look through your books to find out whether you are paying the taxes. We come there to see whether you have displayed your charges and so many things. And sometimes, of course, we also have our own challenges. We are constrained with staff and things like that. But certainly, the manager is here. My sister, Roberta. Oh, no. Also, my brother, you see, it's a good information. Yes, it is a good. I think that is fine. So it's well noted. So whatever it is, what he's saying is that they want to see you more often, because GTA, when we come to your place, is apart from everything, apart from the interaction that we have, we also give technical advice, which also helps. So what he's saying is that we should visit there frequently and give technical advice.
And then some of the visits, we come incognito. We move around a lot. There's practically none of your restaurants I don't know. But when I come, I won't tell you I'm the DC. I come and sit down quietly, order my food, pay for it. If I have a serious comment, I'll call the Greater Accra director. I went here, this is 111, and they'll deal with it. Because the moment you show up, then you want to receive the normal treatment people receive when they come there, so that you can make an evaluation of the service culture and all of that. And generally, when you are doing well, you don't see us. We really don't want to see you. If everything is fine, your customers are happy, service is good, then we are fine. It's when things are not working well, that's when we get the bashing all the time. Have you been here? Washrooms are not clean, and so on and so on. So no visit probably means that you are doing well, or it also means that you are illegal. It will get you in due season. You see.
With your facility, I know we were embarrassed some years back when Food and Drugs Authority shut down your facility. You know about it. It became an embarrassment to GTA. So when you are saying that we are not coming there, certainly that point, what came to my mind was that if the regional director was coming in, that issue shouldn't have even cropped up. Okay, so when you are saying that we are not coming there, I think it's something that we take a serious view of that. So certainly we'll come there. And it's so also go with all of you. We'll be coming there. Like my brother said, sometimes we come there as a mystery guest. I eat a lot in the restaurant and things like that, but I never show up that I'm a director. So apart from the front office staff and the inspectors that you may see them when they come in to renew your license and things like that. None of us, unless maybe you are seeing us. Sometimes I just come in as a normal person and buy. And then if I have any issue, I will call the regional director. So what you are saying is true. They will come there, and then they will always be there and to ensure that the services are neat and everything is also fine. And then also the renewal of the license. Certainly, they will do that as well.
But I think we have to move forward, definitely, on the association. It's obviously dormant. So I don't know who would galvanize and mobilize you, but we would like to have, even if it's an interim executive, in place, so that in some of these advocacy things, we have, the private sector backing. Otherwise, like Mr. Sampson said, we are not as effective as we can be because we don't put as much pressure on elected officials because we are agents of the government. And if EPA and GTA have a disagreement, it's like you have the same mother and you're fighting. But because we are a democracy, people are responsive to private sector or public opinion. So take it upon yourself to organize yourselves in a way that will have at least an interim executive available so that we can deal with some of the bottlenecks that are bothering you. All right.
Yeah. So from here, I'm going to see Mr. Frank PJ. I've already had a discussion with him to revive the association. So please position yourself, especially those of you who are interested in the leadership position to, lead. And I'm sure that some of these issues, when you forcefully bring it out, it can also get the necessary hearing and attention that it deserves. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. We'll take the last batch of questions and wrap it all up here. If there are any other questions, okay, we have one here. Yes, the last batch of questions. Where's Eddie? Okay, yes, there is a hand there.
Okay. My name is Mubarak from Brown Sugar Restaurant, Laboni.
From?
Brown Sugar.
Brown Sugar Restaurant, okay.
Laboni. I just want to know the essence of the re-inspection fees. Supposing when they come around to do inspection and there's one or two flaws or mistakes, they will ask you to come to the office and make a payment of re-inspection before they come again. But they don't give us much education on food safety and other stuff as FDA does. Because FDA, they call us for training, they give us SOPs, but when they come for inspection and there's one or two mistakes, they won't ask you to come and pay for inspection before they come. But as for GT, come to the office, come and pay 700 before we come back. But you go and pay, they will never come back, you won't get your certificate. So I just want to know the rationale behind the re-inspection fees.
Okay.
That is it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. High table or Auntie? Okay. So Auntie Roberta, that's our Greater Accra Regional Director. So, yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. So to answer your question, the laws that we operate with gives us various mandates at each point in the licensing process. So for the year, we come for inspection to match what you are doing against our requirement. When we do inspections and you fall short of the requirement, it means you are unrecommended at that point in the licensing process. It means you did not qualify for the license. Now the law says that you need to pay re-inspection fee because you have failed the first mandatory inspections. And it means that the inspectors are going to come back. They will give you a time period to rectify all the defects we identified. Then you can pay your re-inspection fee. You notify us that now you are ready. We will come for re-inspection. So this is when you pay re-inspection fee. And it is backed by the fees and charges sanctioned by the Parliament. So it's not an illegal fee. And per my record, you did not pay your re-inspection fee last year. So by 2 p.m., I'll be waiting for the check. Thank you.
We beg. We beg.
Okay, so let me add... Madam Roberta, please, this one, let me plead for them. So, a special pardon. Right, so let me try to give the historical antecedent to this re-inspection fee. There was nothing like re-inspection. Okay, so like she just highlighted, every year we are supposed to come and see how your facility is performing in terms of the standards for us to renew your license. That's what the law says. And then also take certain information, data, to ensure that maybe the data that we have is the same or something, maybe you have made some amendments. So this information is supposed to feed into the industry for them to know. If, for instance, you have changed your address, you have changed your location, you have changed your telephone number and all that. These are information that the tourists or whoever patrons need. So when we come there and renew, there are certain enterprises that have also developed a culture of always putting GTA in the position to re-inspect. So they come in, we come in, and you don't meet the standard. And then you go back. You come in, and the standard is the same. And then eventually it moved from bad to worse. But remember that when we come in, the officer that is coming to renew your license, we also go through certain costs build-up. We pay for the fuel. There is also wear and tear. The vehicle that is coming there, maybe you are located in a very bad road, so the wear and tear that the vehicles goes through. And then also the officer is paid an allowance, which we pay. So when consistently you are put on re-inspection, the person comes there, apart from the time lost, because remember that the person is supposed to come in, or the inspector is supposed to come in at the end of the year. And once you position him or herself to come and do it, and you don't qualify, the time that should have used to do certain things, now he's come to spend another time there. So times the cost with respect to the fuel, the wear and tear of the vehicle, and again, the allowances. So we came together. Since it was a ritual for certain enterprises to be put on re-inspection, we decided to put punitive sanctions to deter people from being put on re-inspection, because every enterprise know that licenses are renewed every year. So it's likely that every year GTA will come and renew their licenses. So if you sit down there and then you let the standard deteriorate to a level that you cannot gain licenses, then of course you should be able to pay for the re-inspection so that it offsets the time and the cost and the energy and the wear and tear that GTA goes through. So that's the antecedent and the basis for the re-inspection. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll pick the very last one. Clifford, please take the microphone here.
My name is Ishmael Laeti, and I've been in restaurant business for, I think, about 30 years now. But to summarize the whole thing, I think my experience here today is restaurant. So we are appealing to the Ghana Tourism Board that you should look at it in this figure. There are restaurants who did well for a year. So if they could do something that maybe they will select maybe 5 or 10 or 50 restaurants that they done well for the year. And then once they are talking, some people mention they travel to Japan, they travel to this one. Some of us, we haven't traveled before. Yeah, so it will be a privilege that restaurant that they'll do well in the year. Yeah. You give a cheat or something that we organize there before and travel with them to maybe Canada. Yeah. For us to go. Yeah, for us to go and see, their performance. Then when we come.
Canadian food is not nice anyway.
No, I'm just saying something. So that if we calm down, then we know that when we went to this place, we saw this. Then we apply, and then business go on. Then you people you get your money. Thank you.
It's a good suggestion, my brother. Just help for me.
Restaurants are what?
That was done. When I was growing up, I saw you guys taking people to Malaysia to learn the industry and stuff. So everything that was done during my father's time, we don't do it anymore. So if you are going to, it's true. They used to take people to Malaysia to learn the, at that time Malaysia was basically growing up in tourism. Thailand. My father went, my mom went. So all these things used to be there. It's not strange. You shouldn't even laugh about it because it was practical. We used to get subsidies as a restaurant, as a business. It's all gone. Unfortunately, you are asking GTs to intervene on our behalf on issues. But they are also the ones sucking our blood as well. The 1% which they are taking. Which other industry takes from its industry? Banking? We have a problem in banking. What's the 1% to promote what? Financial services. Why 1%? Why is the tourism industry the only one? Please don't come. My chicken is finished. But I'm trying to say that why are we the only industry that has a levy? Transportation is a problem. We have a levy. Why? So if they are going to say they should help us reduce, start the 1%. We should take it off. Because if they are going to charge us for re-inspection fee and then argue that it's because of a bad road which is coming there, which is of course a joke, I understand. Then they are not justifying the 1%. Or training. When was the last time GTA came training? I know sometimes you do this international but donor money training. But when was the last time GTA said, give me 5 of your staff, let's train them? When was the last time? I was a beneficiary of something I can't lie about, which was the best thing GTA had done so far. COVID crime. Yeah, they built a very nice cool store for me. Liked it, quite a lot of money. So I won't beat you so badly on that, but besides that, you need to show some thought.
Thank you. So just to answer what my brother said, you see, when you come together, it's also a powerful tool. And let me use Tuga for example, Tour Operators Union. For all this while, they've come together so strongly. It's one of the strongest associations that we have. And so many times, like you just said, because they are, united body, they also advocate and then also get certain things done for them. For instance, this travel thing that they are doing, when we are going to do promotions, sometimes we support them to go and market the destination. It happens. And even sometimes when we are going to engage with statutory bodies, we put them along. But again, where is the restaurant operators or restaurant body to even push things? So what he said is possible. When you put yourself together and then you say you want to go to Malaysia to even see their practices, restaurant operators' practices and others, or even for leisure, and then you approach GTA that this association wants to go for excursion or a tour or something in this destination. Certainly, we have the responsibility of writing letter of support and even supporting you to undertake that tour. So association is very good when you come together. And there are so many things. It can be training, it can be so many things. So when, for instance, training is not forthcoming, as an association or as a united body, you can write and then push and get certain things done. United voice is very good in some of these businesses. But when you sit in silos, eventually it affects your voice. So please put yourself together, and I'm going to work on that. And then through that, you can also push for some of the things that you wish to be done. And I think it will get the hearing that it deserves. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chief Executive Officers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I think we've spent quite a lot of time here trying to get responses for you. And take out from this is that we are one family. Let us work together. Let us see how best we can all improve the industry that we operate in. And we know that once we do that, definitely the gains will come. On this note, I want to invite our Greater Accra Regional Director, Madam Roberta Dawson-Amwa, to give us the closing prayer. But just before then, once again, thank you so much, CATV, for carrying us live on your media platform. Once we are done with the closing prayer, please, we'll all move to the Garmanche Hall for the second session. So the Garmanche Hall, second session, please. Thank you. Madam Roberta, we're waiting for the closing prayer. Thank you. I thought you were going to give a round of applause for coming. If you don't clap for her, she will come chasing you.
I'm their friend. So, as the head of the region, I'd like to say a very big thank you to all of you for making time to be with us. And to say that we live here with a common understanding that our operations have consequences on the overall marketing that we do as a destination. And that nobody is saying don't charge service. Don't put the service charge there. But what we are saying is it's not mandatory. So if you want to charge your customers, let them know so you don't pull a surprise on them, because they have the right not to pay it. If they decide not to pay, there is no law criminalizing it. I hope we're on the same page. So if it's a practice of your unit to charge for service charge, please display the notice. So at the point of coming in for your service, the customer can decide whether to sit in or to go elsewhere. I think this is fair. Let's be fair to the customers. On that note, shall we bow for a word of prayer? We are most grateful, our Most High God, for this fruitful meeting. We leave here asking your grace to go with us. Bless our industry, bless our businesses, keep us safe, and let us be successful throughout the year and the years to come. These and many other blessings we ask in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you very much, Madam Roberta Dawson-Amwa, Greater Accra Regional Director. As I said, we will all move to the Garmanche